The weight of a clouded mind. Every single day, from the moment we wake up, our minds are flooded with thoughts. Some are useful, some are inspiring, but most are just noise. Worries about tomorrow, regrets about yesterday, judgments about ourselves, and comparisons with others. This endless stream of chatter creates a fog that clouds our perception, making it difficult to see life as it truly is. Imagine a glass of water. When it is still, you can see right through it. But when dirt is stirred into it, the water becomes cloudy and unclear. That is exactly what happens when the mind is filled with unnecessary thoughts. It loses its natural clarity. A clouded mind is heavy. It carries layers of anxiety, self-doubt, overthinking, and fear. It keeps replaying old memories like broken records, reminding you of past mistakes or failures. It projects scenarios that may never happen, creating fear of the unknown. And while this storm of thoughts rages on inside, you feel trapped in a cycle of restlessness, unable to experience true peace. You may sit in a beautiful place, surrounded by nature, but your mind will not allow you to enjoy it because it is too busy pulling you into the past or pushing you into the future. But here is the truth you must remember. You are not your thoughts. This is the most powerful realization in the journey of clearing the mind. You are not the voice inside your head. You are the awareness that hears that voice. You are the observer behind the thoughts, not the thoughts themselves. And once you understand this, the burden begins to lighten. Think of your mind like a sky. Sometimes it is bright, sometimes it is stormy, and sometimes clouds gather and block the sun. But no matter how thick the clouds may seem, the sky itself is never damaged. The sun never disappears. It only gets hidden for a while. In the same way, your true essence, your inner peace, your light, your wisdom can never be destroyed. It can only be hidden beneath the storm of thoughts. The moment you stop identifying with the storm and instead realize that you are the sky, clarity begins to return. When the mind is clouded, decision-making becomes difficult. Small challenges feel overwhelming. Emotions feel uncontrollable. You may find yourself snapping at loved ones, losing focus on your goals, or doubting your own worth. But these are not signs of who you really are. They are symptoms of a mind carrying too much clutter. And just like you would clean a messy room to feel lighter and more organized, your mind too requires cleansing to return to its natural state of calm and clarity. The first step is awareness. Awareness that the noise in your mind does not define you. Awareness that peace is not something outside waiting for you. It is already within, waiting to be uncovered. The fog of confusion and overthinking begins to dissolve the moment you pause, breathe, and remember that you are not lost. You are only hidden behind the clouds. And clearing the mind is nothing more than gently allowing the clouds to part, so the light of your soul can shine again. The power of letting go. One of the greatest obstacles to a clear and peaceful mind is the weight of what we refuse to release. Every day we carry emotional baggage, memories that hurt us, regrets that haunt us, grudges that keep our hearts heavy. We tell ourselves that holding on makes us stronger, but in truth, it only ties us to the pain. Imagine walking through life with a backpack full of stones. Every mistake, every argument, every wound from the past adds another stone. At first, you may not notice the weight, but eventually it slows you down, drains your energy, and keeps you from moving freely toward the life you want. Letting go is not about forgetting. It is not about pretending something never happened. Letting go is choosing freedom over chains. It is choosing peace over bitterness. When you release the old, you make space for the new. Just as a tree must shed its leaves in autumn to make way for new growth in spring, you too must release what no longer serves you to allow your spirit to flourish. Forgiveness is a powerful form of letting go. It does not mean you approve of what was done to you. It means you are choosing not to let that wound control you anymore. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It is about your own healing. Holding on to anger or resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It eats away at your soul, clouds your judgment, and keeps your heart from experiencing love fully. But when you forgive, you cut the chains that bind you. You reclaim your energy, your clarity, and your power. Letting go also means releasing the need to control every outcome. So much of our anxiety comes from trying to predict or shape the future. But life does not unfold according to our demands. There is a greater wisdom, a higher rhythm, guiding us. Trusting that flow, surrendering to it, brings a sense of lightness. And you stop trying to control everything. You open yourself to miracles, opportunities, and blessings you never imagined. Think of your mind as a room. If it is cluttered with old furniture and broken things, there is no space for anything new. But when you clear it out, when you release what is no longer useful, suddenly there is room for beauty, peace, and inspiration to enter. The same is true of your inner world. Each time you let go of a grudge, of a fear, of an expectation, you create space for clarity and light to flow in. Letting go is not a one-time act. It is a practice, a daily decision. Each morning, when you take a breath, imagine exhaling all the heaviness you don't need. Each night, before you sleep, remind yourself that you are not bound by the past. Every moment gives you another chance to put down the weight and walk forward freely. Remember, freedom is not found in holding on, but in letting go. And in that freedom, your mind becomes clear, your spirit becomes light, and your heart begins to shine. Silence, stillness, and presence. In a world that never seems to stop moving, silence has become rare. Everywhere you go, there is noise. Traffic, conversations, notifications, endless information competing for your attention. We have become so used to this noise that silence often feels uncomfortable. Yet silence is not emptiness. Silence is medicine. Silence is where the mind finds rest and the soul finds its voice. When the world outside is loud, the only way to truly reconnect with yourself is by stepping into stillness. Stillness does not mean the absence of life. It means the presence of awareness. It is the state where you stop running after the future or digging into the past and instead return to this very moment. The present moment is all we truly have, but our restless mind rarely allows us to live in it. Presence is the art of coming home to yourself. Think of a lake. When the water is agitated, you cannot see clearly beneath its surface, but when it becomes still, everything underneath is revealed with perfect clarity. Your mind is exactly the same. In the rush of thoughts, judgments, and distractions, you cannot see the truth of who you are. But in stillness, the fog begins to clear, and your inner wisdom rises to the surface. Silence is where you meet your soul. It is where you hear the whispers of your intuition, the gentle guidance that is always within you, but often drowned out by noise. Many people search for answers outside, in books, in opinions, in endless information. But the deepest answers, the ones that truly matter, are already inside you. All you need is the courage to slow down, to sit in stillness, and to listen. Practicing presence does not always mean sitting cross-legged in meditation, though that is a powerful way. It can also mean taking a mindful walk and noticing the sound of the wind, the warmth of the sun, the rhythm of your breath. It can mean pausing in the middle of your day, closing your eyes, and simply being aware of the life flowing through you. Even a few moments of true presence can recharge your entire spirit. Stillness is also a form of healing. The body and mind naturally know how to restore themselves, but they cannot do so in constant chaos. Just as you need sleep for your body to recover, you need silence for your mind to heal. When you create space for stillness, your energy balances, your thoughts settle, and your emotions soften. You realize that beneath the turbulence, you are already whole. Presence is the doorway to peace. It is not about escaping life, but about entering it fully. When you are present, you see beauty where you once saw nothing. You find gratitude for the smallest moments. You connect more deeply with others because you are truly there with them, not lost in your thoughts. And most importantly, you connect with the divine energy that flows through all things. Remember, silence is not a void. It is the space where your true self awakens. In stillness, you do not lose yourself. You find yourself. And in presence, the noise fades, clarity returns, and the light within you shines brighter than ever. Living with a clear mind. Clearing the mind is not a one-time achievement. It is a way of living. Just as you cannot clean your home once and expect it to remain spotless forever, the mind too requires daily care, daily renewal, and daily awareness. A clear mind is not something you stumble upon by accident. It is something you cultivate with intention through the choices you make every single day. Living with a clear mind begins with what you allow into it. Every word you hear, every image you see, every conversation you engage in, it all feeds your mind. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, drama, and fear, your mind will become cluttered again. But if you choose uplifting thoughts, nourishing information, and environments that radiate peace, your mind will remain light and clear. Just as you are mindful of what you eat to take care of your body, you must be mindful of what you consume mentally and spiritually. Protecting your energy is essential. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every voice deserves your attention. A clear mind knows when to engage and when to simply let go. You do not have to respond to every negativity. You do not have to carry every problem on your shoulders. Learning to say no to toxic conversations, no to draining habits, no to unnecessary distractions is one of the most powerful ways to keep your mind free. Living with a clear mind also means speaking to yourself with kindness. Too often, we allow the harshest critic to live inside our own heads. We replay our failures, we doubt our abilities, and we compare ourselves with others. But clarity comes when you silence that inner critic and replace it with compassion. Speak to yourself as you would speak to someone you love. Remind yourself that you are learning, growing, and evolving every day. Encouragement clears the path forward. Criticism only adds more weight. Another key to maintaining clarity is alignment. Live in harmony with your values. When your actions match your truth, your mind feels at peace. Confusion arises when you live in conflict with yourself. When your heart longs for one thing, but your choices move in another direction. Listen to your soul's guidance and have the courage to act upon it. The more aligned you are, the lighter your mind becomes. Gratitude is also a powerful tool for a clear mind. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, your perspective shifts. Gratitude quiets the noise of dissatisfaction and opens your eyes to the blessings already present in your life. A grateful heart creates a peaceful mind, and a peaceful mind creates a radiant life. Above all, remember that living with a clear mind is about trust. Trusting yourself, trusting the journey, trusting the divine order of life. Fear creates chaos, but trust brings calm. With trust, you no longer need to control everything. You can move through life with faith, knowing that you are supported by something greater than yourself. When you live with a clear mind, you live with strength, with purpose, and with love. You move through challenges with grace. You create space for joy. You become a light for others who are still lost in the fog. A clear mind is not just for you. It is a gift you give to the world. As we come to the close of this journey, let us pause and reflect on what it truly means to clear the mind. We began by acknowledging the heavy burden of a clouded mind, how constant thoughts, worries, and fears act like a fog that blocks the light within us. We learned that we are not the storm of our thoughts, but the vast sky beyond them. That simple awareness alone is the first spark of freedom. Then we explored the art of letting go. Life is not meant to be lived carrying the baggage of the past or the anxieties of the future. Freedom is found in release, in forgiveness, in surrender, in acceptance. Every time you put down a weight that no longer serves you, you step closer to peace. Like a tree shedding its leaves, you too must trust the process of renewal. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is gaining space for what is meant to come. From there, we discovered the power of silence, stillness, and presence. In a noisy world, silence is sacred. Stillness is not an absence of life. It is the gateway to life itself. When you return to the present moment, you reconnect with your soul. You remember that peace is not something outside waiting for you. It is already within you. In presence, the noise fades, and the whispers of your intuition become clear. You see the beauty of life, not as it was, not as it might be, but as it is, here and now. And finally, we arrived at the practice of living with a clear mind. A clear mind is not a destination. It is a way of walking through life. It is about choosing what you feed your thoughts, protecting your energy, speaking to yourself with kindness, and living in alignment with your deepest values. It is about gratitude, trust, and surrender to the divine flow of life. When your mind is clear, your heart is open. When your heart is open, your spirit is free. And when your spirit is free, you become a light, not just for yourself, but for everyone you meet. So what is the complete guide to clearing the mind? It is not a complicated formula. It is awareness, it is release, it is presence, and it is practice. Awareness that you are more than your thoughts. Release of what no longer serves you, presence in the silence where peace lives, and the daily practice of living lightly, consciously, and gratefully. Remember this: your mind was never meant to be a prison. It was created to be a channel for clarity, creativity, and divine wisdom. When you clear it, you don't lose anything, you gain everything. You gain freedom from fear, peace in the present, strength in your soul, and light in your path. So today, I invite you, let the clouds part, let the noise fade, step into silence, step into freedom, step into the clarity that has always been waiting for you. Because a clear mind is not just the key to peace, it is the key to living a life fully awake, fully alive, and fully aligned with your highest self,